How do I move from feeling victimized and broken without bypassing my pain? So there's stages of the healing process, and the victimized part is the very first stage. It's this, I'm suffering, I'm hurting, someone hurt me, I feel upset, betrayed, angry, whatever the feelings are. So the first order of business is to want to move out of that place. And I'll give you an example. I once had a client that had a debilitating disease, and we started talking about this disease and when it started. And it started right after the client had been brutally raped. And we were looking at this mindset that it was somehow her fault that she deserved to be punished because she had gotten raped. And I said to her, are you ready to change that story? Are you ready to move from blaming yourself for this rape? And she said, no, I really think it was my fault, and I really think I deserve to be punished for that. So right there, that is a very clear indication that this person was not ready to move to the next phase of healing. Healing happens in stages, and we have to be consciously ready to move on to the next stage. When people are in the victim stage, feeling their suffering and blaming someone else or even blaming themselves, like the case of my client, if they're really entrenched in that, all there is to do is listen. I hear you. Wow, I really hear that. That sounds so rough. I hear that's so hard. I really hear your pain. And if they can do that for themselves, they can start to really feel validated. We want to validate the painful feelings. When they get to the place where they say, I'm sick of it, I'm so sick of this old story, I'm sick of feeling this way, I'm tired of complaining, I don't want to feel like a victim anymore, that's the indication that they're ready to move on to the next phase. Then you can start to help separate out from the actual feeling. So we have this feeling, but we know we're not our feelings. And the way to do this is to say, wow, a part of me still really feels hurt and victimized. Part of me really feels traumatized and broken. And I know that that's not who I am, right? There's a space there between the victimized part and the real healthy spiritual me. Then I can start updating my belief system, changing this story. So I blamed so-and-so for hurting me. And what I now know is that I actually chose to feel that way. I was looking at it from this victim perspective. You know, I now know that I get to choose how I feel. Maybe somebody said something that hurt me and I took it personally. I could say, I now know that what they said is a reflection of their own unresolved issues and actually has nothing to do with me. I can actually feel fine. We're making a bridge between the part that is suffering and our true self. There's this bridge happening. And if we can successfully navigate the bridge, what happens is we bring the part that feels hurt in, and we actually integrate that part into our heart. And that allows us to move on to the next stage. And we can move into acceptance and taking personal responsibility. And then maybe even taking our power back and becoming the creator of our own lives. Like, I really don't like this old story anymore. What do I want to start to create? I noticed I've been creating this victim broken story for many years of my life, maybe even many decades. That story isn't working for me anymore. What if I created a story that I'm whole and well and strong and powerful? So it's a process to move through these stages of healing. If you try to talk to someone from a high stage, when they're in the victim stage, what will happen is you'll get this judgment that you're victim blaming, right? So we can't talk 100% responsibility from the place of the victim. Does that make sense? It's like telling a 3-year-old whose balloon just popped, oh, don't believe the illusion. The balloon doesn't exist. It's just Maya, while the 3-year-old is crying over their lost balloon. So we have to meet ourselves where we are. And if it's still in a place of emotional trauma, you want to be able to really hear it, really validate the pain before moving on to getting out of the story and creating new, more empowering beliefs. Many blessings of joy and vibrant freedom.